Good evening. Welcome to the July 7th combined meeting of the Vineland Board of Education. Roll call, please. Ms. Leary.
Ms. Acosta? Ms. Cataspati?
Present.
Mr. Fiocchi? Mr. Holmes?
Present.
Mr. Rivera?
Here.
Ms. Sabrana?
Present.
Mr. Silva?
Here.
Ms. Spinelli?
Here.
Mr. English?
Here. In compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law, commonly referred to as the Sunshine Law, the Vineland Board of Education has caused notice and posting of this meeting to be sent to the following, announcing time and place thereof, agenda, etc. The Daily Journal, SNJ Today, the Press of Atlantic City, Nuestra Comunidad, Visto Bueno, the Clerk for the City of Vineland, and the Administrative Office Public Bulletin Board. At this time, I ask that everyone please rise for the flag salute.
At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence in memory of Jasadie Holder, our fourth grade student, rising fifth grader at Barcy Elementary School, who we lost so tragically over this holiday weekend. Please join us in this moment of silence. Thank you.
Ms. Leary, do we have a resolution for executive session this evening?
Yes. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the City of Vineland School District will convene into executive session for the following reasons as outlined in NJSA 10:4-12. Discussion is about pending litigation matters and any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duty as a lawyer.
Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Cataspati?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Ms. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Mr. English?
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Yana, do we have special presentations this evening?
Yes, we have Dr. Danelle Sneeden, Assistant Superintendent for Administration. She will share the 2020-2021 HIB end-of-year report.
Good evening, Mr. Yano and board members and members of the community. Thank you for the opportunity to present our 2021 HIB presentation. It's an annual report. And so it went off for a second. It's coming right up. Is that the one you want? So for some reason, the connection isn't happening with the Apple, so I will get started, though. G is going to keep on working, and the presentation just starts off with a general definition of HIB. Harassment, intimidation, and bullying is any gesture, written, verbal, or physical act or electronic communication, whether a single incident or a series of incidents, and it's reasonably perceived as being motivated by an actual or perceived characteristic. There are 9. And it takes place on school property. Here we go. And or at any school-sponsored function, on a school bus, or off school grounds. And the big thing, it substantially disrupts or interferes with the orderly operation of schools. It also needs to be understood by a reasonable person that its effects are harmful and damaging to the student, demeaning to the student, and again, substantial disruption or substantial interference with the operation of the school, and it creates a hostile environment at the school for the student by interfering with his or her education. This slide just gives some examples of possible HIB characteristics. Different things there. And this is some background data of our HIBs in the Vineland Public Schools. Obviously, there's been a marked decline in the most recent data, given the fact that we were mostly virtual for about a year and a half. So this year we had 9 HIB reports. 7 of them were substantiated or founded. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. I have not, no, but I could. Yeah, we could certainly do that. Not tonight, though. I'll do that for the next report. All right, thank you. I'm just gonna shut it off.
Thank you, Dr. Sneeden, for the information, as always. Do I have a motion for the approval of minutes for May 5th, 2021, combined meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Leary.
Ms. Cottasbody?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli? Yes. Mr. English?
Yes. Do you have any committee reports this evening?
The
Ms.
fac-
Spinelli.
The Facilities Committee met on June 29th at 4 p.m. Committee members in attendance were Dr. Gruccio, myself, Mr. Holmes, Mr. Fiocchi, Mr. English, Ms. Leary, Mr. Mustarell, and Mr. Fernaccio. We discussed the chairs at graduation. Everybody seemed to like the setup, so we talked about purchasing the white chairs. We talked about the boardroom table. We will be purchasing a new table for up here so we can be spaced out. We talked about all of the upcoming capital projects, summer school building usage, planning for the fall PPE, lead-based water testing, and the Menny's fire and insurance update.
Thank you, Ms. Spinelli, and it was a good meeting. Do we have any other committee reports this evening?
Mr. President,
Yes.
just want to express my intentions to reconstitute, with your permission, the ad hoc committee for communications. Now that the administration has changed, we want to move forward on the program that we started, the acquisition of a new mobile broadcast unit, additional equipment as necessary, possible auxiliary funding, and changes in staff if needed.
I have no problem with that, and we'll continue with the same members that were on there. Perfect. Consider it reinstated, I guess, is the best way. We're back in order.
Mr. English,
Yes.
if anyone can't attend that meeting, I'd like to let Mr. Sobrano know that I would like to attend one of those ad hoc committees meetings.
That's no problem. I would always sit out, too, if you would like to. I definitely don't have a problem with that. Do we have any other committee reports this evening? Alrighty, moving right along. Do you have any public comments by our board solicitor, Mr. DeSanto, this evening?
None this evening.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment on agenda items or any other matter? Seeing none, at this time, I will turn it over for motions and resolutions to our superintendent, Mr. Lano.
Okay, thank you. So since this is my first time running through this process, I hope you'll be patient with me. If I make a mistake, be kind, and make sure I don't miss any agenda items, okay? So to begin with, I would like to recommend discussion of personal items. 1.1, approval of the following: retirements, resignations, terminations, leaves of absence, employment transfers, students, substitutes, extracurricular activities, and summer extracurricular activities.
Do we have any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Cottospotty?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrano?
Yes?
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli? Yes. Mr. English?
Yes.
Now we're on 2.1, right? So I would like to recommend discussion regarding 2.1, the September 2020 through June 2021 HIB report to the Board of Education presented in accordance with NJSA 18A:1746. The Board of Education shall have a report 2 times each year at a public hearing of all acts of harassment, intimidation, and bullying in accordance with the provisions of the same statute. 2020-2021 HIB presentation, end-of-year reporting as presented this evening.
Any questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the second reading of these mandated policies and regulations for discussion. Policy 5111, eligibility of resident, non-resident students. Policy 8660, transportation by private vehicle. Regulation 5600, student discipline code of conduct.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the following: observation rubrics, facilitator, coordinator, guidance, learning consultant, library media specialist, nurse, physical occupational therapist, principal, school psychologist, school social worker, speech language therapist, supervisor, and teacher.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion to authorize the board secretary to enter into an affiliation agreement for the 21-22 school year for the placement of students for field internships, student teaching, practicum, and observations with the following colleges and universities: Grand Canyon University, Newman University, RCSJ Clinical, Stockton University Health Services, Social Work and Novice, Capella University, Wilmington University for Teachers, Western Governors University, and University of Phoenix.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend approval of items 2.1 through 2.4.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Cottospotty?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Ms. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli? Yes. Mr. English?
Yes.
I would like to recommend discussion of budgetary transfers for general, school-based, and ECPA for May 2021.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion of board secretary and treasurer reports for May 2021.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the agreement between the City of Vineland Board of Education and Catapult Learning LLC to provide educational related services through Chapter 192, 193 funding to eligible students attending non-public schools within the Vineland city boundaries for the 2021-2022 school year, contingent upon the availability of Chapter 192, 193 funding.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the appointment of Dawn Leary as the Fund Commissioner and Scott A. Mustarell as the Assistant Fund Commissioner of the Southern Coastal Regional Employee Benefits Fund, SCREBF, for July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the placement of special education students.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the renewal of 3 student accident policies with NJSIG through Beyond the Insurance with total premiums of $100,966 effective September 1, 2021 through August 31st, 2022. And with the following premiums as listed: $79,500, $17,708, and $3,758.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the final NJSIG insurance premiums totaling $2,505,820.15.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion to rescind the healthcare staffing agreement between the City of Vineland Board of Education and Starlight Home Care Agency for July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, which was originally approved at the May 5th, 2021 combined board meeting.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the contract for in-school one-on-one nursing services with Bayada Home Health Care, Incorporated, in the amount of $50 per hour for RN and $43 per hour for LPN, in a form acceptable by the board solicitor and superintendent for July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the contract for in-school nursing services with Bayada Home Health Care Incorporated in the amount of $55 per hour for RNs, in a form acceptable by the board solicitor and superintendent for July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the annual report to the Board of District Contracts, Chapter 47, 18A:18A-42.2A. By July 1st of each school year, the SBA shall submit a written report to the Board of Education on school district contracts. This report shall include a list of all district contracts to be awarded, subject to renewal or expiration during the school years, and an explanation of all applicable contractual federal and state laws, rules, and regulations.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the awarding of the following project for VHS North Chiller to the responsible low bidder. Contractor Surety Mechanical Services, total estimated contract amount $498,800.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the City of Vineland Board of Education pursuant to NJSA 18A:18A-22B, rejecting all proposals received for PW bid number 142122 VHS North Masonry repairs.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the awarding of the following project for window replacements for 3 schools to the responsible low bidder. Project window replacement at 3 schools, contractor Panoramic Window and Door Systems, for a total $1,315,000.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the following Year 2 contract renewal for Food Service Management Company, RFP 011053990, for the term of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, with the option to renew 3 one-year terms for a total of 5 years with Sodexo, was approved June 10th, 2021, now including this amendment, which includes the 14 cents per meal entry. Contractor Sodexo, total contract $5,825,635.75.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the renewal of the following service agreements with Inspira Medical Center Incorporated for Impact Healthcare Services, acceptable by the board solicitor and the superintendent. Inspira Services agreement for the period of July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, in the amount of $143,591.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the renewal of the following public agreement between Vineland Board of Education and Inspira Medical Center Incorporated for Healthcare Services, acceptable by the board solicitor and superintendent. Inspira Public Donor Agreement for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, with donated resources in the amount of $74,750.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the 2021-2022 itinerant shared services agreement between Cape May County Special Services School District and Vineland Public School District Board of Education for July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the sales of the vehicle list, which is on file with the board secretary, to be auctioned on gov.deals.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the board's acceptance for lease purchase financing of $2,788,015.20 from J.P. Morgan Chase Bank at a rate of 1.001% and a term of 6 years, with the last year balloon payment of $833,990.31 to pay for the purchase of 28 54-passenger school buses from Wolfenton Body Incorporated. Annual budget cost $406,780.21.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the following Cumberland County Regional Cooperative Transportation Initiatives: 2020-2021 quoted contracts, 2021-2022 ESY quoted contracts, 2021-2022 addenda, 2021-2022 jointure.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend approval for items 4.1 through 4.21.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cottasbody?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mrs. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Mr. English?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Leary. And congratulations, Mr. Yano. Very good. You made it. Attaboy.
I did all right?
And welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, we're a tough crowd. We would let you know about it. I didn't hear anybody chuckling, so that's good. And we got Miss Miller out there. She'd let you know. Trust me. She's back. It's good to see you back. At this time, we have no proposed items to review for adoption by board members. Do I have a motion for the approval of bills incurred during May 2021?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Cottasbody?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Mr. English?
Yes. Thank you. We have no emergent items with prior approval. At this time, we have our old/new business section. Do I have any board members that have any old or new business they would like to discuss? Yes, Ms. Cottasbody.
At our last board meeting, the governor had made an announcement that masks could possibly be optional for the fall semester. Now he came and made it optional as long as the districts are willing to do that. I think we were going to talk about this, so we need to have some kind of discussion for the fall. I think that's where we left off at the last board meeting. We would discuss it again.
So at this point, the governor has provided guidance to school districts that how we handle masks in the fall is a local decision that needs to be made by the local Board of Education, based on a recommendation by the superintendent. At this point, on my third day in the school district, I'd like the opportunity to meet with the health department and to have those conversations around what is expected, what is recommended. Of course, the final decision is at this level, at the board level, on how we process and move forward for the fall. We do have wonderful programs occurring right now. We visited Saboteur ESY program with our director, and we saw our students very comfortably in the building, in an air-conditioned building, wearing their masks, staying safe, because over our summer program, we need to still follow that type of the recommendations and the guidelines. But the fall is the question that we need to have a better and deeper conversation around. So we will address that, and I'll bring that back to the board soon.
Now, with the summer program, with the extreme heat, are we still going by the guidelines that if it's really hot and they're having air conditioning, that they can take them off?
That's built into the regulation that was communicated to us, that in times of extreme heat, and extreme being anything over 80 degrees, students would have the option to remove their mask, and staff as well. We don't want anyone overheating in those conditions. That is from the reopening guideline that was provided to us by Governor Murphy back last year, so that is still in effect.
Okay, thank you. And just christening you in.
Thank you. Thank you. Third day in. Okay.
No, thank you for that information, because, the board is definitely, we just want to make sure that come September, we're ready to roll with no surprises, and I'm sure our emails will continue to buzz as they've been doing, and, we understand that this is, a lot of the public needs to know this. This does fall under the day-to-day operations of the district, and Mr. Yano has definitely heard the board and what we like, but again, I respect what he's going to do, talking to all stakeholders, especially the health department, because again, they have an opinion, and in the end, I'm sure we will come up with a decision that we will all be happy to hear. Not to put the pressure on him, but I thank you for that information. Do we have any other old or new business this evening? Trying to think, I don't think I have anything either, which is good. At this time, then, we will do our board member remarks. I will start to my left, Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome Mr. Yano on his first board meeting, the first of many to come. I wanted to express my condolences to the family of Jasady. This happened close to home, in my neighborhood. And to think that that little girl, probably enjoying herself on the 4th of July with her family, and then this tragedy happens, it's unthinkable. It's heartbreaking. You immediately start thinking of your own family, your own children, and you just start thinking about the things that this world, the things that happen in this world that you cannot explain. What is unacceptable, though, is the fact that there are individuals out there that know exactly what happened, that know who did this, and are refusing to cooperate with the police. If there's anything we can all agree on, anything, because there's lots of things we disagree on, is that the death of a 10-year-old little girl should not go unpunished and unsolved. And those individuals that committed this crime should be brought to justice. So do the right thing, speak up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Mr. Sobrano.
We like to think that we're safe in this community, and that the violence that touches Philadelphia and all the other cities that we see doesn't happen here. This was a stark reminder that we're not immune and it can happen. And all of us here are dedicated to the well-being and the education of the youth of our community, our future. And to see something like that is a devastating reminder that it can happen anywhere, anytime, to anyone. I hope that whoever perpetrated this heinous act is apprehended and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Solving this problem on a local, regional, or national scale is not going to be easy or simple. The facets of it are so many. But we can all start by doing what we can do. It seems that the situation in regard to Barcy School was well handled. Appropriate resources were made available to the families. Our new superintendent and Mr. Camardo were diligent in pursuing whatever could be done, but that doesn't ease the pain of this loss for that family or for our whole community. And I'd like to say that it should never happen again, and it shouldn't, but there's no protection anywhere. If a little girl, in her own home is gunned down like that, it's just not something that you want to think about.
Mr. Silva.
I also like to echo my fellow board members. I have twin boys at home. Just to think, what the family's going through themselves, it's gut-wrenching to know that that could be done to a child so innocent, so young. So if anyone has any information, please come forward so we can apprehend these individuals, because at the end of the day, it's just beyond anything. It's just gut-wrenching. It's heartfelt knowing that I have my own kids at home, and they're 11, but they're right around the same age. Just as a parent, I can only imagine. Well, I can't even begin to imagine the pain that they're going through. So, thank you.
Mr. Holmes.
Echoing the sentiments of my fellow board members, my heartfelt condolences go out to the family of Jasady. We can talk about gun violence and other political things, but what we're dealing with now is a heart issue and the minds of whoever committed this heinous act. And that's what it really comes down to, the matter of your heart and what would make you commit such a crime, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally. So my hope is the same, that whoever did this, whoever has information, will come forward. Thank you.
Ms. Gadaspati.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Yano for his first meeting, and I don't even think I welcomed Ms. Leary the last time it was her first meeting, so welcome. I would like to send my condolences and prayers to the family, friends, schoolmates of Stadia. I would like to concur with my fellow board members. I can't even fathom what that family's going through, or who was there watching it. Please, I'm the wife of a retired police officer. If you know something, please go forward. We cannot let this go unpunished. That little girl shouldn't be where she is right now. So please, there are ways you can come forward and give your testimony. Ms. Miller, our 10th board member, I am so happy to see you out there tonight, and I hope we get to see you again. Everyone in the district, I hope you're having a relaxing and good summer. Please be safe and have fun.
Ms. Spinelli.
Good evening. I would also like to welcome our new superintendent, and I look forward to working with you. And just like the rest of my fellow board members said, my condolences also go out to the family that lost their grandchild and their daughter and sister, and we are all thinking of you.
Superintendent Yano.
An incredible tragedy for the Vineland Public Schools. I saw a picture of this child that Dr. Sneeden had shared with me, and it's incredible. If you have children, even if you don't have children, you have family members, to see that angel's little face, that she's gone. and there's nothing that we can do about it at this point. But what I am asking for is I reached out to Mr. Rivera to provide me with the names of some local clergy, and I asked the rest of our board members, any groups, community groups that you are aware of who have a large following, I'd like to call those leaders to a meeting with me and our board president, so we could talk about, raising awareness around gun violence, of course, and how one death is too much. So we need to do something, right? We feel for the family, but we can act in a way that they can't. We can educate our students, we can educate our families, we can spread the message through the community. There may already be an existing organization that handles this type of work, but I would like to connect with them with your support so we can send that message. One death is too much. On my first weekend here, that's the message I received, that a child was lost, and one child is too many. And I want to say thank you to the team who came together to support the principal of that school, who was on vacation away from his building, but he was talking to the parent, sending out messages, doing robocalls. Dr. Sneeden sent out some information. Mr. Fry and his team, Deanna Rodolfi, working with the counselors and setting up counseling for our students. It's incredible, the team that came to support the family, but we need to do something next. We can't come back at the next meeting without having responded in another way, in a way which we can do together collaboratively for the community, so we can help educate our friends and our families the importance of a child, an angel, 10 years old, gone. It's too tragic, and it should never be allowed to happen again. And again, if someone knows something, of course, please, I know the prosecutor's office is asking for support, for help, for information. This perpetrator needs to be caught, needs to be thrown in jail immediately. So again, just want to, please, if you have any information you can share with me, send it to me via email. Any of our partners who are here in the audience tonight, if you have a community organization that you work with that you would like to see a part of this effort led here from our team, please send me that information, allano@vineland.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Lano. Reality sometimes is just a terrible thing. We're fathers, we're mothers, we're brothers, we're sisters. No parent should have to bury their child. I was away over the weekend, and you turn the news on normally like you do, and you see Philadelphia, you see New York City, you see California. Well, what do we see? We see Vineland. It's the tough thing, like I said, reality. Superintendent Yano said it. One death is too much. It's the truth. This is our home. This is our community. If someone out there knows something, as each board member said, there are ways to contact someone and let it be known. This shouldn't happen anywhere, and it definitely shouldn't happen in our hometown. When you see that girl's face, it's just wrong. It's wrong. The world we live in today is not the world I lived in growing up, when you could get on your bike and go to the ice cream stand. It's tough out there. I've said it once, I said it 100 times. Take some time to hug your mom, your dad, your siblings, your kids. Tell them how much you love them, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Holder family at such a time that I could never fathom. I pray that God is with them and will guide them through one of the toughest healing processes a family should have to go through. So again, it's important. If anyone knows something, I plead that you do the right thing and step forward. That being said, do I have a motion for adjournment this evening?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.